We're still in part 1, and this is what I consider advanced symbolism, and we're going to look at the concept of the Baphomet. We begin with none other than Aleister Crowley, the famous Satanist. This is an image of his website, the Grand Lodge Ordo Templi Orientis. It has its roots in Freemasonry and secret societies and the mystery religions, which is essentially Luciferian doctrine. We have his logo that you saw earlier, and I just wanted to show you this image is on his website so that I can explain that this same image that is gotten here is not photoshopped to include this, what I'm going to show you. So we have here these images, and this is the name of Baphomet, B-A-P-H-O-M-E-T, and you see this sign here, which is a triple cross, and this is a little bit adorned with the serifs on the edge of the cross, so you can understand that that is the sigil of Baphomet, the symbol of Baphomet. The other things that he's handwritten here. He is a Freemason, so you can see he is an older man. He's more decorated as a Freemason. One thing to note here is this is a Maltese cross, and we're going to see that in part 2. Understand what that is fully, maybe even in the end of this section, part 1. So I wanted to show you that this is a poster that was done by an occultist and Satanist, Madame Talbot. She was an actress. And when Aleister Crowley died, she made this poster for him, and it's riddled with all of this satanic symbolism. And one in particular I want to show you is the Baphomet. So you see this handwritten, or not handwritten, but stylized Baphomet, and you see this being here. This is the goat head. It has a Luciferian torch of enlightenment. It is an angelic being. It has female breasts and a male phallus, and the male phallus has serpents intertwining, i.e. like a DNA strand or a double helix. You have legs that are of the goat's legs. You also have this entity doing the as above, so below sign. As above, heaven, the male, below, female, and also this two-finger sign is the sign of the benediction. We'll see that in this series. You also have this moon here, and well, there's no moon below, but you'll see the moon below on this section. The white moon and that black moon, the dual symbology going on. So again, Baphomet, now you see the symbol of Baphomet here is this goat entity, angelic entity, and you see the symbol of Baphomet on both sides of this entity here. You also see other occult symbols. This is the eye of Horus or Lucifer with the down pointing triangle. I believe she did the down pointing to represent Earth, because down pointing represents that. Ordo Templi Orientis with this crown, you see. This is riddled with occult symbols. Love is the law. There is no law beyond. Love under will, so self-will. Do what thou wilt. Okay, we have magic, mysticism. That's the New Age is all about that. You have 2 Egyptian obelisks. This is a testimony to what religion it is. The occult has the same idea, Alpha and Omega, going on. You see and so you see this counterfeit going on. I want you to understand the counterfeit concept going back on that. This is the up-facing pentagram and the down-facing pentagram. You see all of this. You see the elements here that we saw in the pentagram as well by Aleister Crowley. 666 here, and then you see what looks like 418, but this is actually the down-facing yoni symbol, which is a female part. And I don't know too much about this other than I believe it's part of the writing, and it's some type of a number going on. You see the 7-pointed star here. You see now this Masonic symbology that you see on tracing boards in Masonry. You see all of these occult astrological signs adorning this. And is there anything else in here that I can show you? No, I think that's it. So we're going on with this entity, which is a satanic entity. You see this used in extensively, and I'm sure you've seen it before relating to Satanism. This is Eliphas Levi. He was an occultist, and this is called also the goat of Mendes, and you see there's that being there. Sovereign Grand Commanders of Freemasonry. Here's the Sovereign Grand Commander of the Supreme Council of the 33rd degree, and this is in Washington, D.C., is the head of Freemasonry in this country, in this jurisdiction. You can see they wear the sigil or the symbol of Baphomet at the top and the head and the cap. And you can see him. He is a 33rd degree Freemason. You see that with this illuminated triangle and this illumination, 33 degrees is that illumination. You also have this strange similarity and these counterfeits with Jesus starting his ministry at 30 and dying at the age of 33. Very interesting similarities, but they are fundamentally different because they were complete opposite of what you would imagine them to be. So you have the double-headed eagle and the emblem of the 33rd degree here, and so also you see all the symbols back there. He's sitting on a worshipful master's chair, and the emblem of the 33rd degree chair is behind him, and so that is one of those top Freemasons. And there are more degrees after the 33rd degree, these people that you don't even see in this, and there are here up to 99 degrees, just to inform you with that. I just can't believe, and just looking at this image, that people can actually dress up like this and put these emblems on. I mean, there is an underlying spiritual thing to this whole thing, that people would even adorn themselves in this manner and just look so proud. And I mean, just look at it with your own eyes. Now, moving on, this is Albert Pike. He is known as the Pope of Freemasonry. And you can see that he uses this non-adorned triple cross on his necklace. Albert Pike, Grand Commander. He is known as a Confederate general of the South. He is also involved with the KKK, and he is the only man that has ever been laid to rest. His tomb is actually within this Masonic building. This is the Washington, D.C. Lodge. It is 13 blocks from the White House. We'll see that later. But you can see the Egyptian sphinxes. You can see there's 33 columns around this building, and this is a replica of Haile Karnassus. This I forget how to pronounce it, but it also includes this pyramid at the top without the cap. Within this building is the temple room, and you can see that this is a place of religion. And so here's the altar, and you see the worshipful master will sit in the east. And having a closer look at this temple room, on both sides of this are serpents, and those particular serpents are feathered serpents, and you can see the feather here on the edge. So they are in fact serpents, dragon serpents. And now you can see where the worshipful master sits. There is the sigil of Baphomet, and Baphomet is a representation of Satan and Lucifer, a demonic entity that way. Moving on to literature or correspondence of the Ordo Templi Orientis, and you can see this typed out, and Baphomet now with a handwritten symbol there. Ordo Baphometis. You can see the down-pointing cross as well in the center. Ordum Magic, Hermeticism, and Gnosticism, and those are all interrelated. We'll understand in the religious section in part 2 of where those originate from. Buzz Aldrin with the flag that apparently went to the moon, and this was at on the New Age magazine. And here's the flag in its presentation, and this is the flag here with the sigil of Baphomet. Here's the double-headed eagle with that crown and that 33-degree emblem, and the square and compass of Freemasonry with that G, the generative principle there, and their concept of dualism in that fashion. And now you can see cartoons are showing this sigil of Baphomet. They wear this on the top of the cap. This is interracial. Doesn't matter anymore. It used to be that they would not accept other races. It's completely global and ubiquitous in this fashion. Now, this is a key because this is an example of how intelligence works. They throw in a smokescreen, and this is a perfect example of a smokescreen. They're saying, oh, these Freemasons, they're all worshiping Baphomet. Look at them. They're worshiping this weird goat head, Luciferian torch, and this goat's feet. They're all worshiping. So they're like, oh no, they're all worshiping. Oh my goodness, this is the Leotaxil hoax. And there they are on the inside. And this is an example how the smokescreen is laid. And even to this day, when I tell people, hey, this is a concept of Lucifer, and we're going to see the similarity between this Baphomet being an Eastern culture and one of those religions, one of the chief deities that they admire and worship there with regard to this androgyny and animal characteristics. So here's Knights Templar. This is I believe is an 18th degree initiation. So now you have a connection between Freemasonry and the Knights Templar. This guy, I think, is wearing a square, similar to there were different adornments. And so there's an example that this was a clear hoax, just to throw the smokescreen out there that, oh, it's ridiculous that they're worshiping this type of creature. Now you can see here, this is a reference to Genesis 6, the sons of God or angelic beings coming on and intermingling with the daughters of men, or human beings. And Genesis 6, you can read all about that and this idea of angelic beings intermingling and having children, and they were called giants or Nephilim. In this case, now you have Jachin and Boaz, which is a reference to the Jewish temple, and I can assure you that these are just smokescreens as well. They admire that temple, and they admire Solomon in the Bible going into idolatry. That's what they worship rather than the true temple, and you'll see that in Freemasonry and the opposite way that they actually lay out their lodges opposite to the true temple. So you have now Mason, and looks like he's blindfolded. Here's the goat idea, the goat concept. Here's the eye to all free and accepted Masons. Now you can see here, these are essentially the pillars of Hercules, and you have the earth and the moon on there, and we'll see that counterfeit symbolism. This is a New Age emblem. I'm not sure where it comes from, I forget, but you see Ordo Templi Orientis, and you see now some type of a creature. I don't know if that's even a goat, but the same similarities of androgyny, female breasts, angelic. You have these symbols around. INR, INRI, and I don't know, there's something cryptic about that. We see that in Catholicism on the top of the cross, but then we have the sun discs, winged sun discs of Egypt, unicorns, and all of this occult imagery.